the stuff that this team is doing. On the opposite side of it, the Eagles. Okay, so I am bittersweet about the Eagles in this game. The secondary, absolutely abysmal for the first half. 100% abysmal. They did tighten up a little bit in the second half, but I don't know if it was enough to give me full confidence that they're going to be good going forward. So I think that that's going to be something that Vic Fangio and that whole squad, they're just going to have to figure out and address. Adoree Jackson, I don't think is the guy. I just don't think that's him. I think that we need to really start working in some of these young guys and see what's good, because Adoree Jackson is just not it. He was getting burned constantly by CD. It was just not becoming of someone who, is going to be the starter for this team for the rest of this year. With that being said, really, really impressed with our quarterback. My guy, Jalen Hurts, already playing like an MVP candidate. No, he didn't throw for 300 yards. No, he didn't hit all the targets that people want him to hit. But guess what? I think that there's more strength in telling someone that you're going to do something your way because that's what generates success than doing it their way. Okay, so everyone's like, oh, well, Devontae needs this many touches. AJ needs this many touches. We need to hand the ball off to Saquon this many times. No, I think that the best way you can service your team and your city is to win games. And whatever that looks like is how it has to look. Because God forbid we give Devontae Smith 10 catches. We give AJ Brown 10 catches and then we lose, right? So I think that Jalen Hurts does his best to play complementary football, and I think that he plays very responsible football. For example, there were a lot of throws that Dak Prescott threw that Jalen Hurts wouldn't dare to throw, not because he can't, but simply because it's just too risky. He's not going to put his team in that much of risk, and that's what makes Jalen Hurts a top. That's what makes Jalen Hurts a top 5 quarterback. The fact that he plays responsible football. He plays complimentary football. And he showed last night how if you sleep on him, he will make you pay. And I hope that's a warning shot to the rest of the NFL and the rest of the NFC East that do not sleep on that man. He will make you pay if you try to sleep on him and try to say, oh, we don't have to game plan for Jalen Hurts. Yesterday, he showed that you have to game plan for him. Okay? On the opposite side of it, the man who everyone said carried the team last year, Saquon Barkley, didn't look so hot. It wasn't even Saquon's fault. In the beginning, he had some very explosive runs. He was running with serious purpose. But I think the warm down and the break, because we had the inclement weather delay. I think with that and the fact that the Cowboys just kind of figured it out at some point, and they just kind of start loading the box and they just start doing what they had to do to kind of stop Saquon. I think that's really what it is. So we're going to have to figure out some other schemes along with the passing game, because while I say Jalen Hurts is what he is, I do want to see Devontae and AJ get more touches. I do want to see Saquon run for more yards. And I think all of that starts with Kevin Patullo and just trying to work out some schemes that are going to complement the offense, because we keep going to these different offensive coordinators and it's just difficult to deal with, because when you're jumping from offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator, like, how can anyone ever get comfortable with the schemes you're running, with your game plan, with your offense? So I think that it's just going to be fine-tuning, just figuring out the offense, figuring out who can do what, figuring it out. And yes, that should be happening in preseason, that should be happening in camp, but it didn't. And, well, it did to an extent, but we still obviously have some things to work on. Cowboys, however, they look good. They do look good, and I think that we're going to have a very interesting NFC East this year, y'all. All right? Much love. Come back. Links.